You're standing in the evidence room at 11:40 on a Tuesday night, and you're holding a kilo of methamphetamine that the county disposed of 4 days ago. Your badge number is on the incineration log. Your signature is on the destruction order. The paper trail is clean. The kilo is not. In 6 hours, it'll be worth $28,000 in a Denny's parking lot off Interstate 35. You didn't start here. You started at 23, at a swearing-in ceremony in a municipal hall that smelled like carpet cleaner and old coffee. You raised your right hand. You meant every word. The badge was heavier than you expected, and you remember thinking that the weight was appropriate, that this was serious work for serious people, and you were ready. That man still exists in a photograph on your mother's refrigerator. Dress uniform. Clean jaw. Eyes that hadn't learned to calculate yet. You made $41,000 your first year. You didn't care. You made 51 arrests and felt like everyone mattered. You believed the system was a machine and you were a working part inside it. You believed that. 11 years later, you're a narcotics detective pulling $67,000 before taxes. After child support, after the apartment you moved into when your wife changed the locks in November, you take home $2,900 a month. Rent is $350. Your daughter needs cleats for soccer. You promised her. The checking account shows $340 and 8 days until payday. The evidence room has been yours effectively for 4 years. Sergeant Briggs retired. Budget cuts eliminated the oversight position. There is supposed to be a 2-person verification rule for every evidence transfer. There is supposed to be a lot of things. What there actually is, you, a key card, and a logbook nobody audits more than once a year. The first time, it wasn't a decision. It was arithmetic. A traffic stop on Route 9. A 22-year-old in a Honda Civic. 6 ounces of cocaine. $4,200 in cash. A Glock 19 with the serial number filed off. You logged the cocaine at 6.0 ounces. The field scale read 6.3. The difference is within the margin prosecutors don't question. You walk out with 8.5 grams pressed against your chest like a second heartbeat, and you tell yourself you're going to flush it. For 9 days, it sits in your glove compartment. On the 10th day, you sell it to a man named Derek, who runs a detail shop on the east side. $700 in 10s and 20s. The transaction takes 2 minutes in the bay of his shop while a Camaro drips oil onto the concrete floor. You drive back and eat a turkey sandwich at your desk. Your hands don't shake. You expected them to. You tell yourself it was one time, a moment of weakness the universe owed you after 11 years of kicking down doors for a salary that qualifies you for food stamps in 3 neighboring states. You buy your daughter's cleats, you take her to dinner at a restaurant with cloth napkins, and she says it's the best night of her life. She's 9. You set her standards there. The second time happens 5 weeks later. The third 3 weeks after that. By month 4, you've developed a protocol. Never skim more than 5% of total weight. Only pull from large seizures where the margin absorbs the loss. Rotate across cases so no single file shows a pattern. You keep a personal notebook, names, dates, amounts, payments, locked in a safe deposit box at a bank 40 minutes from your precinct. You tell yourself the notebook is insurance. It is a confession you are writing in real time. Derek introduces you to a woman named Sonia, who moves product through suburban house parties, college kids, young professionals, people who'd never buy on a corner but will cheerfully cut lines off granite countertops in $400,000 townhouses. Sonia pays $1,400 per ounce of cocaine, $900 for meth, $3,200 for prescription opioids by the bottle. You're clearing $5,000 to $8,000 a month. Tax-free, untraceable. More than your salary. You pay off the credit cards. You catch up on child support. You buy your daughter a bicycle she'd been asking about for a year. The guilt from that sentence alone should have stopped you. It didn't. Your partner, Ray Dominguez, has ridden with you for 6 years. He coaches Little League. He goes to church on Sundays because he actually believes. His wife Maria packs lunches for both of you. She knows you're eating garbage alone and sometimes includes a handwritten note. Stay safe today. You're a good man, Ray says. You read these in the car. You feel something crack behind your sternum that you can't name. Ray's faith in you is load-bearing. You know this. You exploit it every time you volunteer to handle evidence processing while he runs witness interviews. He claps you on the shoulder and calls you a machine. You smile and carry another bag to your trunk. 9 months in, you've cleared $72,000. Your apartment is the same. Your car is the same. Lifestyle inflation is what gets people caught, and you've watched enough true crime to know better. The money lives in a safe deposit box, a storage unit across town, and a waterproof container buried in your ex-wife's backyard, accessible during custody weekends when she's at work and your daughter is at soccer practice. The absurdity of burying drug money next to a swing set while your daughter's cleats dry on the porch does not escape you. You just process it and move on. That's the nature of the work. Then, Sonia introduces you to Carl Beaumont. Carl doesn't run house parties. He runs a distribution network across 6 counties, employs 40 people, has lawyers, accountants, and vehicles with hidden compartments. He's the kind of target your unit spends years building cases against. He sits across from you at a steakhouse, cuts into a ribeye, and asks if you can supply him with 10 kilos a month. He offers $15,000 per kilo, $150,000 a month, $1.8 million a year. You drive home doing the math at every red light. In 3 years, you could retire. You could be the father who shows up to every game, every recital, every parent-teacher conference. Your daughter would never know where the money came from. She'd just know her dad was there. You take the deal. You stop being opportunistic and become systematic, forging destruction orders, swapping real drugs for bags of flour and drywall compound at the county incinerator, handing them to Dale, a 58-year-old county employee who stopped caring approximately 14 years ago. Dale never opens the bags. He signs the form and returns to his crossword puzzle. Dale is the most important person in your operation. He has no idea he exists in it. 14 months in, you've moved 130 kilos, pocketed just under $2 million in cash, forged the signatures of 3 supervisors on 23 documents they never touched. You've compromised 6 active cases and 40 closed ones. You feel fine. That's the part that keeps you up sometimes. Not fear, not guilt. Just the awareness that you should feel something, and you don't. The person who raised his right hand in that municipal hall doesn't live in your body anymore. You don't mourn him. You don't even remember him clearly. Internal Affairs opens an investigation on a Monday. An auditor found one discrepancy, half a kilo that vanished between a field arrest and your evidence log. Lieutenant Sato runs the inquiry. You know her by reputation, thorough, patient, the kind of investigator who builds cases so tight the first call from the defense is to negotiate a plea. She interviews all 7 detectives with evidence room access in alphabetical order. Your last name starts with C. She saves you for last. You are already the theory. Ray asks if you've been sleeping okay over lunch. You tell him it's the divorce, the custody stress. He accepts it because it's plausible, and because questioning it further means entering territory neither of you wants to explore. But something shifts behind his eyes. A slight recalibration that happens when a person starts paying attention to things they used to take for granted. He watches you the rest of the day. Not surveillance. Concern. Which is worse. Sato finds it through Dale. One honest answer to one simple question. Do you verify contents before they burn? Unravels 14 months in 90 seconds. Security footage from the incinerator shows your car arriving, bags going in, different bags coming out. She can't trace the cash because you were smart. She finds the safe deposit boxes because you needed valid ID to open them. The warrants come back, $62,000 in compressed bills. The arrest happens on a Friday morning. You're at your desk when Sato walks in with 2 uniformed officers. Ray is 8 feet away. You watch his face move through confusion, then recognition, then a grief so sudden and total, it looks like he's been shot. They walk you through the bullpen. Every detective in the unit is watching. Some look shocked. Some don't. Ray follows you to the elevator. He doesn't speak. He just walks beside you the way partners walk, like proximity is all he has left to offer. At the elevator doors, he stops. He asks one question, how long? You tell him 14 months. His jaw tightens. His eyes are wet but nothing falls. He steps back. The doors close. That is the last time you see Ray Dominguez as a free man. The notebook becomes the prosecution's centerpiece. The confession you wrote in real time turns out to be exactly that. You take the deal. Testify against Carl, provide names and dates, wear a wire. 12 years instead of 40. 12 years means your daughter will be 21 when you get out. 40 means she'll be 49. Carl gets 30 years. Sonia gets 15. Derek gets 8. Dale, who never opened a single bag, who only ever did a crossword puzzle, gets 18 months for criminal negligence. You feel worse about Dale than anyone else. 40 cases reviewed. 11 convictions overturned because your evidence room was a crime scene. You put criminals in prison and then set them free by being a criminal yourself. The circularity is so complete it's almost elegant. You serve 8 years on good behavior. You walk out on a Tuesday morning with $800 in commissary savings and a bus ticket to a halfway house in Dallas. $14 an hour at a warehouse. You move boxes from one end of a building to the other for 10 hours a day and eat lunch alone. Your daughter is 20, pre-law. You found this out on your ex-wife's Facebook page from a library computer on a Saturday because you don't own a phone. Pre-law. Your daughter wants to be the thing your badge once pretended to make you. You don't know if that's hope or punishment. You stare at her photo for a long time. Somewhere right now, a detective with a badge and an empty checking account is standing in an evidence room at 11:40 on a Tuesday night, doing the same math you did, arriving at the same answer. The pay hasn't changed. The evidence rooms are still understaffed. The destruction logs are still unaudited. You hope he puts it back. You know he won't.